Well, hello and welcome back. We are continuing, in a sense, although we're going to focus on one specific question. We're going to talk about basically sort of what is Flask and then how do I create an API using Flask in Python. And we're going to look at these two, but this is part of a larger project that we're working on. We're working on our way through building what we call Shorty, which is just a not terribly unique or creative name, I guess, for a URL shortener, much like you would see bit.ly or owl.ly or one of those. And we've worked our way through a couple of pieces, but now we're going to work on the API side of it because we're going to have to be able to take a request and return back a shortened URL. And of course, we need to do that through an API. The way we're going to do that, I guess it says of course, but that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to use this thing called Flask. And if you haven't used it, check out Flask. If you just go to flask.palletsprojects.com, or if you go to Google and you just do something along the lines of, Python Flask, search for that, and you're going to get some stuff here. You can jump right into it. It's very useful. And we're just going to touch on it. Actually, if you look down the side here, there's a lot of things that are available. But we're going to do the most simple, which actually we're going to start with their hello world. And we're going to come in here. We're going to create a little file, new file. And this will be, we're going to call this API.py. And we're just going to start with something very simple. So what we do need to do is we need to make sure that we've installed Flask. And let's see if I have. Oh, apparently I hadn't. So here we go. So now I should be able to do here. Now what you would normally do is you do Python 3 API. Let's see what that does. See, it doesn't really do anything. Oh, because we don't have it actually doing anything. But what we do need to do is if we do a Flask run, then it's going to tell us we can't locate a Flask application. And so what we're going to see here is, okay, we've got this little thing, and there we go. So we're going to have to tell it what our app is. Now our app in this case, so if we do theirs, if we say Flask, the dash app, hello, run, guess what? Doesn't exist. But if we do API, not run, if we change that to API, because that's going to be the name of this, boom, Python thing. So now we've got this running at 127.0.0.1.5000. So what we want to do, let's background that. And then if we do curl that guy HTTP, because this is going to be a very simple way to test our call. 1 on 5,000. Whoop. I think I want to do a dash get. I think that's how I do it. Okay, actually what I had to do is because I had my app actually paused, what I do want to do is, and if I do curl HTTP : whoops, with one of these, 127.0.0.1.5000. There we go. So I get hello world, and you notice that I've even got it wrapped in this thing. So I get a very straightforward result coming from it, which means if I come back over here, I can go, and actually I guess I ran wherever it was. There we go. Oh, here, I can actually, here, I can come in and I can tell it what port to run on, which is going to tell us, like here, dash host. So I could do dash host, and I think it's just equals. So I can do 127.0.0.1, and I'm going to run it on, let's run it on port 6500. Boom. And then if I come over here, we'll come back around to that, because one of the first things I want to do is let's go ahead and we're going to pull in this, probably because we're going to need it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it because we're going to end up using this. So we're going to do escape. And we can always do, so what we're going to do here is we're going to create a different endpoint. So this will be, we're just going to call this shorten. We're going to start with this. And he's going to call shorten. And then he's going to return. So let's go look at the first thing we've got here is what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to give it a parameter. And so let's do here, let's call this URL, which I believe is how it's done. Oh, actually, I think it's just here. So we're going to do it shortened URL. I think that's how it looks. And if we come in, oh, yeah, it is. So if we do shorten, so now what we can do is we take this, whoops, we'll do slash. So if we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to, sorry, if we call shorten slash and then the name of a URL, and then we send the URL, we're going to send that URL in, and then we're going to return, let's say, we're just going to say this is what you sent, and we're going to do escape just to be safe, URL. And so if you look here, what we're going to do is escape that name out, and then that means if we do something like weird like this, it's still going to come through. So if we send it tags and stuff like that, did I get that all right? I did. So now let's just go back to run it. Let's run 5,000. If I do my initial one, oh, on the right port, and then what I get is hello world. But if I do shorten, now I'm going to get that it's not found because I did not provide a name. But if I do this and I do HTTP / some long URL.com / a = 1. Let's do, I'm sorry, it's not a real one, but we're going to do it anyways. B = 2. So now we got this big old thing. If we do that, because of the slashes, it's going to give us some issues. So we could get rid of this. Oh, it's still not going to give it to us. Let's go back and look at our over here. So we have shorten and URL. So let's go look at what our example was here. They said that if we do /name and we give it a name, then that will pick that up. So if we just do a simple URL, then that should be, let's just do this. There we go. And so when we do, oh, it's because it has, because we have parameters there. Okay. So right now, we've already found it, we're running a little bit of an issue with our APIs. We've got to be able to figure out a way to send an actual URL as opposed to something just very simple. So here, if we did some URL.com, and then we did, let's do, just to show you what the tags are. I don't know that we'll need it, but we're going to do it anyways. There's a parse error. Oh, it doesn't like that very much anyways. Okay. So I'm not sure that our escape's going to help us very much in this one. Let's go back and look at that just in case, because that should be escaping because we're rendered as text rather than that. So if I did this, is what they're saying. Oh, because it's formatting it. Okay. Let's see. Let's just do exactly their example. Yeah, so we get an issue with that, is it doesn't like what we're sending. But if we do this, it's because we're doing a format. Come here. So let's just do this. Let's do what they said. So I can show you this. And really, it's just to do it. You sent this. Now we need to reload it. I'm assuming. And so now if we do it, no, it still doesn't like it. So we've got something in our, oh, it's because of our slashes. That's our problem. Yeah, it doesn't like that at all in here because we would need to probably, let's go back to this. If we do this and this, will this give us what I need? Nope, then it gives us a we're not found because we didn't actually get the thing. So we're going to play around with this first. Is within our API, what we want to be able to do is, let's just do this. We don't need to escape it right now. What we want to be able to do is send a URL in of some sort and then do something with it. So let's do this because we're going to actually step up a little bit because that was just a straight out, we're going to get something. But here we're going to do gets and such because this is going to be important when we get into those. So we get into the API because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to want to be able to do a get. And we're going to be able to do a post. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to post to shorten, and we'll deal with this a little later. And then there's going to be a different one that is going to be the get. And I'm putting these in place. These are placeholders. We'll come back to them. Here, let's see. So it's like that. So now if we do a get, oh, I need it to be here. So now if I do this, I should get the same thing because I'm still doing a get when I do this. By default, when I do this curl, that's going to be a get. And let me just go back to the one that was simpler. There we go, some long URL. Boom, this is what you sent. Okay. So we're working on our get first. This is going to be essentially what we're going to do is this going to be, instead of shorten, this is going to be, well, we can call it shorten. We're just going to, it's the same name here, but here we're going, when we do a get, then the URL we send is, we're going to send something back that's, so it'll be, actually let's do return value. And the first thing is going to be, this is what you sent. And then we're going to do return value plus equals, and we're going to return value. And then it will be something that's going to be this is the actual URL. And we're just going to call this result. And we're just going to say for right now, result equals, do it like this way. Assume we did something. So what you're probably going to end up here would be our short URL, which we can either do it with an HTTP or not, but let's see. So if we do here, so we'll assume that we don't have the HTTP on it because which would really make sense. So now it's going to be like my short .com, but then we're still going to have that slash. So that's something we're going to have to worry about. So I think we did it that way. How did we do it? Oh, we haven't really looked at that yet. So it's probably going to end up being this. So it's going to be 4 or 5. Something like this is what we're going to want to send, but we're going to need to be able to wrap that. And so we're going to have to be able to get either, we're going to, and this is two things. We can either send straight code in, which is this, which is probably what we're going to want to do, is say, although we're probably going to have to clean it too. So we'll start with this. So what we're going to start with is we're going to send them some code, and then it's going to get back the the shortened URL. And let's just do this. We'll put a little line feed in there just because. Whoop, not that one. That one. Run it. Go over here. Boom. Okay, so now we got something a little easier. But now what we're going to do, and you can see all of this stuff, as I mentioned in here. So if you want to build something more complicated, then you can see things like, hey, what's the method? Which probably, that is probably what we're going to want to do. Since it's the same one, we're going to do this. Whoop. Actually, let's just do get, comma, we do post. And here, we're going to say, let's do this. If it's post, else, because it's going to be a get. So that's a get. Here, return value equals not implemented yet. Oh, which we need to get the request is going to have to come in. Oh, I think it's automatically going to do that. Oh, we need to, I'm sorry, we have to import. That's right. So that means we also have to import the request from Flask. So now that will come through. Let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. So I believe it's as simple as, I think it's -get. Okay, so just to save you a little bit of time, you may have noticed a little jump there. And what I did is I want to do X, and I believe it's post. There we go. And then I've got my little % after that. I'm not sure why I get that, but anyways. So we get that. So that allows me to post. If I do a get, then we're here. And now let's go back and look over. One of the things we can do is we can send parameters. And so that's what I want to take a look at. And again, if you wanted to look in here, running, direction, URL building, probably what we want. Here we go, request data. Maybe, nope, that's not what we want. So we go here. Oh, here we go. So here, let's see, blah, 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 blah. That's how I want to do. Oh, that's if I want to rebuild something. If I want to do a template, I can render a template. I don't really need that right now. Here we go. So I can do, that's in a post. And let's do it this way. We're going to play with it for a second because we can. So let's come in here and do login. Oh, I don't need login. That's their thing. That's totally useless to me. So instead of this, I do shorten. And then I'm going to do print request. Let's try that. And so let's save that. I may have time jumped you a little bit, but it's because I needed to wrap my URL in quotes as far as using curl. So now if I do it, and I want to just, let me clean this up a tad because I want to give something, whoops. There we go. Let me run it. unexpected indent. Where did I get? Oh, shoot. Got a space in there somewhere. There we go. So now if I run it, I get success because that's what I kicked back. But you can see here where I pulled those suckers off. So now, if I go back to shorten, then that should have been fine. So let's get rid of that. So now, if I go back to shorten, let's go all the way back. So if we go back to here, the one we did all the way, here we go, big long URL. So we're going to do URL equals. We have to wrap this. And then we're going to come all the way back here. There we go. And now this is what you sent. So we did something, but notice that it actually, let's see, what did it get? Oh, because see, this is where we're going to run into some issues. This will be a little bit of a challenge. We're going to want to post this because if we wrap it into the string, then we're going to end up with some issues. So we're going to end up having to either, which we won't have to do. This would actually never exist. I'm sorry. Because what's going to happen is what we would normally do is for this, for the shorten, we're going to post. So we do colon // short name, some number there. Okay, so it's going to come through. And so now we have an API. And I think I'm going to hold here because what we've done is we do have creating an API using Python because we can use this using our Flask run. And we have our, we're using it in Flask as well. So we do have a little bit of testing an API call, but I want to talk next time. We're going to come back and we're going to go a little more deeper into this now that we have this out here and find some easier ways than what I just went through with curl. As you can see, it's a little bit of a pain. And we're going to check this thing out called Postman. That being said, get back to your day. Hope you have a good one, and we'll talk to you next time around.
Well, hello, this is Rob with Developreneur, also known as Building Better Developers. Wanted to announce that we have school.developreneur.com. Feel free to check it out if you like any of this information, any of the content that we've sent, and you would like to see more. You can come out, you can enroll for free. We have free courses. We've got places for you to get better at just learning a technology, our how-tos. You can work on your business skills. We can help you with becoming a better developer, as in coding and things like that. A lot of the stuff you've seen on YouTube, we also have out at school.developreneur. We just have it in a little more of a educational format and a way for you to track your progress as you move forward becoming a better developer.